Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Funeral service for Mr. Joe Dean Hassel, age 48, of Sylacauga, will be tomorrow, Friday, at 11 a.m. from Curtis and Son North, with the Reverend David Vick officiating. Burial in the Green Hill Memorial Gardens. The station is tonight at the North Chapel of Curtis and Son from 5 until 7. Mr. Hassel was a retired member of the Alabama National Guard, and also he was a firefighter too, and he was Sylacauga Firefighter of the Year in 2006, American Legion Firefighter of the Year in 2009, and American Legion State Firefighter of the Year in 2009. Online condolences at CurtisandSonFH.com. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Mrs. Dolores Brulette, age 88, of Talladega, died at her residence, died at Coosa Valley Medical Center on Wednesday. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, will announce the arrangements. Mr. Alex Javante Brown, age 20, died November 1st in Montgomery. Sims Funeral Service, Talladega, will announce the arrangements. Pastor Jimmy Garrett died November 7th, Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, announcing. Miss Shirley Moon of Alexander City died Tuesday, November the 6th at Russell Medical Center. Funeral arrangements to be announced later by Wright's Funeral Home. Ms. Annie Smith of Huntsville, formerly of Goodwater, died Wednesday at her residence in Huntsville. Funeral arrangements to be announced later by Wright's Funeral Home, Alexander City. Mr. Franklin Thompson, age 84, of Goodwater, died Wednesday at his residence. Funeral arrangements are pending. They'll be announced by Armour's Memorial Funeral Home. Funeral service for Mr. Shirley Eugenia Crow, Mrs. Shirley Eugenia Crow, age 94, of Alexander City, will be Friday at 11 o'clock from the Chapel of Radley Funeral Home. The Reverend Jack Womack officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park. The family receiving friends Friday, 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. at the funeral home. Mrs. Crow died Tuesday, November 6th at Chapman Assisted Living Center in Alexander City. She was a member of the New Beginnings Baptist Church. Memorials may be made to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, 262 Danny Thomas Place, Memphis, Tennessee, 38105, or to the Bill Nichols Veterans Home at 1784 Elkahatchee Road, Alexander City, Alabama, 35010. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. Funeral service for Linda Van Zant Ricks, age 73, of Childersburg, is Friday at 1 p.m. from Grace Baptist Church, with Brother Keith Meadows officiating. Burial in the Fayetteville Methodist Cemetery. Mrs. Ricks died Tuesday, November 6th at Coosa Valley Medical Center. Visitation Friday, 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the church. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home, directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Susie A. Brown Bradley, age 67, is today at 1 p.m. from St. Thomas AME Church in Sylacauga, with the Reverend Jimmy Cook officiating. Ms. Bradley died Thursday, November 1st at Grandview Medical Center. And funeral arrangements entrusted to Sunset Memorial Chapel. Online memorials at sunsetmc.com. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. James A. Murner, age 71, died November 5th. Funeral service for Mr. Murner is today at 1 p.m. from Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega. Interment in the Pine Hill Memorial Park. Rex Kilo will officiate the service. The station will be held, that was held last night, as a matter of fact. Mr. Murner was a member of the Whosoever Will men's Bible class. And in lieu of flowers, you may make donations to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital or Whosoever Will men's Bible class. Online condolences offered at urseryfuneralhome.com. Mr. Murner was a U.S. military veteran, U.S. Marine Corps. He served in the Vietnam War. Also retired from the United States Postal Service. Ursery Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. Funeral service for Mr. Willie Henry Coach Hicks, age 64, of Alexander City, will be Saturday at 11 a.m. from Greater Bethel Baptist Church in Alexander City. Burial in the Mount Sinai Baptist Church Cemetery in Alexander City. Visitation today at the funeral home from 1 to 7. Armour's Memorial Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Marion Brooks Zachary, age 56, of Alexander City, will also be Saturday at 2 o'clock from Jehovah Jireh Ministries in Alexander City, with burial in the Armour's Memorial Garden. Visitation today at the funeral home from 1 until 7. Final arrangements entrusted to Armour's Memorial Funeral Home, Alexander City. These obituaries this morning brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home,